So I've been having some discussions with people that have been in the market for quite some time, other people that make content for crypto, and we're kind of spitballing these ideas about when the market is truly going to take off. When is Shiba Inu going to explode? And basically, the big moment I'm talking about is when the market decides to go completely vertical and doesn't really look back in a big way. And the general consensus that most people are having is that it's going to be sometime in the fall. And that makes sense, right? When we look back historically at a lot of these charts, especially the BTC one, you guys can see that after every halving, it gets kind of quiet for a little bit. And then really sometime around October, November is when the market goes full vertical. You guys can see that doing it here. If we look back at the 2016 halving, it was right about here. You see the market started to go full vertical in about October. And then here again in the 2012 halving, you guys can see that right about back here in early November is when the market started to go full vertical. So the best, obviously, gauge that we have about the market going full vertical again would be sometime in the fall. But I want to point out this. There's a couple things that are happening right now that people need to be aware of. First and foremost, there is always a build-up point, kind of an early little flash where the market starts to get running. You guys can see back here in 2020, that was July. We got a little spark to kind of get things going before cooling off a little bit. You guys can see back here, we got it in May. This was actually a spark that led to our post-halving drop, right? But it was really before everything got going again. Nice massive spark there. Even back here in 2012, you guys can see that sometime here in where was it? August, right after our drop, we got a little spark to kind of spice things up a bit. And what it seems like right now is we're kind of getting that little spark. Now, I'm not saying that this won't translate to a big move here. I'm not saying it will. All right. But there are some things that are happening in the charts that are going to affect Shiba Inu. There's something I noticed that it's happening with stablecoins. So what I was doing is I was actually monitoring stablecoin volume in terms of transactions. And if we look back at the halving in 2020, it might be kind of hard to see on this chart, unfortunately, but back here, stablecoin volume was high. So high amounts of transactions from stablecoins. And then around the time of the halving, it really started to cool off. We had this dip kind of around the summer, June, July, before really things began to ramp up and getting us into alt season and things like that. So right now, we're seeing about 2.5 times the amount of stablecoin volume that we were at this point in the last cycle. You guys can see we had our early spike like we did here in the early excitement in 2020. And then now we're going through a little bit of a cool off. Now, again, this is following the same way, but right now it seems like we're somewhere around that July timeframe that we were in 2020. If you guys refer back to what happened back in July of 2020, this is where things really started to get exciting. That's when we started to have big pumps. Now, if we coincide this with a lot of these other things that are happening in the market, like institutional money showing some excitement, again, for example, GBTC, another inflow day yesterday, that's very exciting. And, further enterprise adoption, all these things that we talk about a bunch that I won't get too much into in this video, all these things are present right now. And they're slowly but surely creeping into the space and picking up a lot of these positions that some people are getting kind of lazy and dumping and waiting for, further retracements and things like that. This is why I believe that at some point here, the market is going to just flip and go on a nice run again. All right. Now, remember, the big thing that moves Shib is some of this adoption, right? Retail flowing into the space is the biggest mover of Shiba Inu. And it looks like Shib is getting prepared for that move. Again, we have that sideways breakout out of here. We actually retested the top of our trend line here yesterday. We're still trying to get to this break box. Once we hit this break box, I think kind of all bets are off. It's a question of, again, when do we get there? Do we have enough push? Right now, it looks like we're kind of going through that, I don't want to say mini sub-cycle again, but that's really what it looks like. AI coins are doing really well right now. And then meme coins are going to have their time at some point here. So that's just what I wanted to share with you guys. There's a lot of things that are happening in the market that are similar, but a lot of things that are different compared to what we've seen before too. But I think that at some point here, we may have that kind of excitement flash in the market. And then it's really looking like the consensus is that sometime in this early fall is when things should really begin to take off. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.